Alright, so I've played about 270 hours of Battlefield 2042, and I think it's time for kind of a thought roundup video. What were the top 5 mistakes this game made to put so many people off of it? And as a very frequent streamer in the Battlefield Twitch section, I've seen a lot of opinions, a lot of comments, a lot of first-time ever chats in my chat saying why they didn't buy the game, or should they buy the game, or why aren't people playing this game, why is this game getting such a bad rap, this and that, and there's so many different answers to all that. But I'm going to give you my top 5 reasons personally why I feel this game flopped so hard. Top 5 mistakes of Battlefield 2042. So if you like the video, please hit the like button, as it really does help the channel out, and hit the subscribe button, inching ever so closely to 19,000 subscribers. I'm smelling a 20,000 subscriber montage video. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I'll link the montage I did with Logitech in Battlefield 5 just to give you guys a little taste of what's to come. So definitely hit the sub button, turn notifications on for that one. You're not going to want to miss it. So, mistake number 1. And these are in no particular order. They're not in any order of importance or anything like that, so just keep that in mind. Specialists. Specialists are absolutely one of the largest mistakes they made with Battlefield 2042. Now, in my personal opinion, I'm here to shoot things, right? So I never really cared personally about specialists, but the fact of the matter is, the Battlefield community cares a lot. And when you have a community that cares so much about Battlefield having a class system, Battlefield not going the quote-unquote Call of Duty route, you simply can't make the mistake of making this game a specialist-oriented game with abilities and stuff like that. You just have to stop reinventing the wheel. And DICE has shot themselves in the foot with reinventing the wheel an innumerable amount of times, but I think this one is definitely one of the most fatal mistakes they've made, because it is a core design within the game. You really can't change it. And once that decision is made to go ahead with Specialist in Battlefield 2042, that's pretty much it. And they should have had the foresight to see that their community and their main player base isn't going to be down with this. And honestly, I don't even really think the outside player base, the players that maybe would have played Battlefield but aren't playing Battlefield right now, those people, I don't even think they'd be down for it, because I think just the general vision, even from outside people of Battlefield, is it is not sort of like a specialist hero shooter type of game. So that's mistake number 1. For mistake number 2, I cannot help but mention the awful maps within this game, and 128 players, which heavily contributed to why the maps are so bad. So the reason why 128 players is a complete and utter mistake is, once again, you're reinventing the wheel, and you're also biting off way more than you can chew with a game release that you simply cannot afford to screw up. And 128 players comes with a lot of things that you could pretty much just avoid, right? With 128 players, it forced them to reduce the server tick rate from 60 to 45. It definitely contributed to the wide open design of some of these maps we see, because they probably freaked out with the doubling of players. So they said, oh, we're doubling players? Let's quadruple the map size. That's pretty much how they think. And you can see it in these designs. I mean, look at Breakaway, for instance. If you don't know what Breakaway is, it's the snow map, the glacier map, pretty much. That map is so large, you can't even really understand how large it is until you play it on Conquest, not Breakthrough. Breakthrough separates it into manageable sections. To really understand how ridiculously, just uselessly large that map is, you have to play it on Conquest and just run around for a second. Just be like, wow, there's really just a whole lot of nothing here. And I absolutely think if they stuck with 64 players, not only would the maps be better, because they wouldn't have to, freak out and overreact and quadruple the map size for no reason. They wouldn't have to put 3 attack helicopters on some areas for no reason. They wouldn't have to put like 16 bolts on attacker side Breakthrough in some maps, it feels like. And I just feel like the game would play better in general if they didn't go ahead and do 128 players, period. And I absolutely stand by that opinion. The maps in general they suffer from, like I said, lack of cover, lack of cohesion, and it just feels like they're not as creative as some of the other Battlefield maps. If you play maps like Achi Baba in Battlefield 1, Siege of Shanghai in Battlefield 4, Tala Market in Battlefield 3, those maps, I feel like, are just way more solid design concepts than some massive wide open glacier. So that's about it for mistake number 2. Mistake number 3, in my opinion, is just overall lack of content, as well as a lot of the content that's existing in the game being locked behind Portal. So this game released and it had 19 primary weapons, 3 secondary weapons, which, if I'm not mistaken, is absolutely the lowest amount of Battlefield primary weapons and secondary weapons on launch. It had very little maps on launch because I assume that they just take way longer to make because they're so big. There's really nothing to grind for in this game. You can argue, oh, I'm grinding for tier 1s. It's like, I mean, is that really worth the grind, though? Where are the assignments from Battlefield 3? Where are, like, the dog tag assignments? Where are the weapon unlock assignments? Where's anything like that? That's what I'm saying. There's really not a lot of content within the base game. And what content there is locked behind Portal. And those are two separate things. And the problem with Portal is you can't even really play Portal unless you have some sort of server that you run that you seed beforehand so people actually get in and play it, because as you can see with Portal, it's pretty much bot servers and Milsim, Wet Dream, like Boomerville servers. And those are just trash, and no one really plays them. So it's very unfortunate that they couldn't rebalance the weapons in Portal for the base game and have a separate balancing for them to make it feel like more like, you know, Battlefield 3 in Portal. I think that would be a great idea. I don't really think many people would complain about a lot of the weapons in Portal being in the base game. I think actually people would welcome that. Let me know in the comment section. Would you welcome primary weapons and secondary weapons from, say, Battlefield 3, BC2, stuff like that, being rebalanced and put in the base game? I think a lot of people would. I certainly would. I'm bored out of my mind using the same 19 primary weapons in this game. And the funniest part is, it's not even really 19 primary weapons. There's about, I'd say, 10 usable primary weapons. And that's really about it. The rest are kind of just, you just don't use them because they're either outclassed by other weapons or they're just downright terrible. So yeah, just a general lack of content pretty much across all aspects. Mistake number 4 they made with this game. Their approach to developing the game. The development timeline of this game is just an absolute clown fiesta, as shown by Tom Henderson's video, where he pretty much goes over the entire design timeline of the game. I'll link it in the description. And just misguided priorities again. Misguided priorities come back to like specialists, 128 players, all that stuff. But the design timeline in general, I think, is what we have to focus on here. They pretty much wasted a lot of their time on just worthless stuff that is not within the interests of the Battlefield community. They wasted a lot of time developing apparently a BR, which then was canceled, which left them with 15 months to develop the base game, which then delivers us with this terrible base game. You know, it's just a total mess, and I think the people responsible for that should be held accountable, and I hopefully some of those people are actually replaced. I mean, you've seen people, you know, come and go within the studio ever since the release. So hopefully whoever controlled part of that got the boot, rightfully so. And last but not least, mistake number 5, the game just has an overall lack of design cohesion. Their biggest mistake is it doesn't feel anything like any of the other Battlefield games. When you play Battlefield 4, when you play Battlefield 3, when you play Battlefield 1, that the games are cohesive, right? Things fit together, things feel right. In this game, I don't feel anything. It's just kind of there. Nothing feels like it meshes together. Nothing feels correct. It just sort of feels like they're like, okay, here's a map, and here's some guns. Go play in this map. It's like, okay, you know, what's the setting? What's going on? Like, what's the reason for this map? Can we get some backstory on that? Like, why are we here? Why is there a missile launching on orbital? Why is there a bunch of weird skyscrapers in the middle of nowhere in this desert on Hourglass? Like, what is actually going on here, guys? Like, doesn't feel like a completed product, or even really a complete vision, where the other Battlefield games definitely do feel like a complete vision, in my opinion at least. You know, Battlefield 1, you're on Achibaba. Okay, understand that, move on. Battlefield 3, you're on, you know, the Aftermath DLC, okay? Earthquakes come in, destroys a city, we're going in there, boom, understand that. It's like, okay, there's none of that in Battlefield 2042, and I think that actually is a major contributing factor. Maybe not for me, but for a lot of people, So those are my top 5 mistakes they made with Battlefield 2042. If you like the video, please hit the like button, as it really does help the channel out, and hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss the 20,000 subscriber montage. I might even release it earlier, but you have to be subscribed to find out, you know? Shout out to my sponsor, Glitch Energy. They do great things for the Battlefield Twitch community. They sponsor a lot of people that maybe other companies would look over, and they do great work. Use code ENDERS for 25% off. Link is in the description. Every purchase helps me out, and they're moving towards a all-natural formula. They're removing all 4 forms of unnatural sweeteners and all that good stuff, namely maltodextrin. So if you're worried about that, you don't have to be anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section, and I will see you guys later.